China's push to develop the Greater Bay Area has enabled a greater flow of talent across 11 Chinese cities, including Hong Kong. With 4 Hong Kong universities going up the world ranking this year, the city has emerged as a popular education hub in the mega region. But in a place that's already short on housing, the arrival of new students is transforming part of Hong Kong's real estate market. Deborah Wong with more.
Nearly 8,000 mainland students were given approval to study in Hong Kong in the first quarter of this year, compared to just over 3,000 in the same period last year. Rental prices have spiked in neighborhoods near universities by up to 12%, making finding affordable housing a real challenge for incoming students. Now, a new category of private student hostels is emerging to fill the gap. Investors like real estate giant Centelline are starting to convert 2- or 3-star hotels into student hostels. There are 10 such projects, providing nearly 3,000 beds at the end of last year. The government has also recently loosened a zoning policy to speed up hotel conversions to student hostels.
Because as a hotel, we got some, we call, back of the houses, spaces that really needs to house those mattress, linen, cleaning things, but for student housing, we don't need that, right? So, this is the first thing that we need to make, the license compliant, the building compliant for hotel, but which is not actually necessary. We are actually running it as a student housing. So students stay here for a year, instead of like those travelers just stay here for a night or 2 or 3. So actually the preference and what they need is different.
Centelline Investments bought over a mid-tier hotel last September. The project will eventually offer 121 beds for students, complete with a communal kitchen, laundry and study areas. Centelline plans to offer about 3,000 beds in the next 2 to 3 years, setting up a platform to help asset owners with conversions.
So what we do, the platform is actually, help them to do feasibility studies from the zoning perspective, from the layout, and also in terms of the locations, is it really a fit for student housing? And then we will work out a business plan and the renovation plan and operate the project as a student housing.
Lawmakers are eyeing office buildings with high vacancy rates next. It's all part of plans to establish Hong Kong as an education and talent hub in the mega region.
And for more, we are joined now by CNA's Deborah Wong in Hong Kong. Debs, the enhanced connectivity under the Greater Bay Area plan, I'm sure that changes not just student housing in the region. Is that right?
Absolutely. So we do see mainland students coming into Hong Kong, but we're also seeing more people from Hong Kong and Macau eyeing properties in the mainland. And I think this is where policy has sort of facilitated demand. We've known for years now that China's property sector has not been doing well. So the Chinese government, they actually lowered some purchase restrictions for non-local buyers. And on top of that, they've also lowered, the mortgage rates as well as down payments. So it has opened some doors. And, in the mainland, we've been traveling there around the Greater Bay Area for a while now. And we've seen some advertisements, from cross-border property real estate agencies, increasing their sales, increasing their outreach to Macau and Hong Kong residents. And even in the Chinese city of Zhuhai, there's this little island called Heng Tsing. It's co-managed by Guangdong and Macau authorities. There's even a neighborhood built up exclusively for those people holding Macau residency. So, high property prices is one thing that's pushing them, but clearly the policy is also intentional in driving the integration.
And Deborah, I believe you've got an expert with you who could help us shed more light on the housing situation.
Absolutely. Ateli, I want to introduce you to Martin Wong. Martin, thank you for joining us here. Martin is the head of research and consultancy at Knight Frank's Greater China office in Hong Kong. Thank you, Martin, for being here. Now, Martin, let's start off talking about Guangdong's recovery. We do know that the real estate sector in Guangdong has sort of pulled down the GDP a little bit. In the last couple of days, we also saw that Jiangsu overtook Guangdong to be, the top provincial city in terms of economic development. How optimistic are you about the property sector's recovery in the region?
Well, looking at the pillar sectors in Guangdong, so traditionally it relies on 2 sectors. One is real estate another one is manufacturing. So I think China overall in the past 1 or 2 years is transforming the economy to lower its reliance on real estate and then convert it into other emerging sectors. So I think the transforming is going on, but at the same time, it has to tackle how to maintain its GDP target to reach 5%. So Guangdong is actually a very important province in terms of the overall production in China. And I think China, in order to rescue the economy, is actually relaxing some of the policies, like encourage some overseas buyers to buy it and then remove some of the restrictions. And it's helping the economy to some certain extent. So when you see, for taking Shenzhen as an example, you see the transactions actually raise up a little bit, back to 5,000 transactions per month. But compared with the peak time, they got more than 7,000 transactions per month. There's still some distance to return to that level. So I think it's coming back, but I think the kind of real estate is still dragging down the overall economy at the moment.
I want to take a moment to bring the conversation back to student housing. I know you at Knight Frank, you wrote a research paper on this some time back, and you also wrote that 2 or 3 star hotels could be a good fit for conversions. But at the same time, let's take a step back and talk about hotel conversions. Does this also signal something that is not too good for the hotel industry?
Well, I think for the, say, Hong Kong, it's also transforming the economic structure. We are based on the policy address, we try to rebrand ourselves as a place for universities and overseas students to come for education. And I think in terms of the existing offering, we don't really have enough accommodation to host those overseas students. So, and at the same time, if you look at the commercial sectors, it's not really performing well. So why not just convert some of the commercial assets into student accommodations to help the sectors which need help? So I think in terms of the student accommodation, is really working. They got more high yield, high returns compared with traditional assets like office sectors. So, and at the same time, the government is trying to encourage more overseas students to raise the ratio from 20% to 40% of overseas students coming to Hong Kong. So I think it's really working in Hong Kong.
So, raising that quota also means a much higher demand, right? And do you think, how far do you think this new asset class can help to perhaps cushion the impact on the rental market? As we know, in neighborhoods near universities, rent prices have gone up at least like 12%.
It could help the market to a little bit in terms of stabilization, because now if you look at the rents for private residential, it's really growing quite fast, especially for those districts close to or locations close to universities. Sometimes for some students, they don't really have a chance to look at the flats before it's already rent out. So I think if you give them more student accommodation, it would definitely help to stabilize the market.
Martin, we just have one more time for one more question. I just wanted to ask you about, conversions of office buildings as well. Lawmakers raised that possibility. Do you think that that's feasible?
I think it depends on what kind of office building we are talking about. If we talk about top-tier Grade A office, it's not going to work because the cost is too high. But if we are talking about some conversion from Grade B or even Grade C offices, it would work because of lower costs.
Thank you very much, Martin. Now, Martin Wong is the head of research and consultancy at Knight Frank's Greater China office in Hong Kong. Thank you very much for joining us. Telly.
Oh, that was a really good conversation there. Thank you so very much. CNA's Deborah Wong in Hong Kong, as well as Martin Wong, head of research and consultancy at Knight Frank Greater China.